YouTube family. My name is Ashley. I wanted to come on and introduce myself formally since it is the end of 2025 and before the beginning of 2026. I wanted to take the time to just kind of explain who I am and my background. My name is Ashley. I live in right outside of Cleveland, Ohio. We are about 5 to 7-ish miles from south of Lake Erie, and we are in Zone 6, which we have been recently rezoned to this area. Right around Lake Erie has been rezoned to 6B, but I don't know that truly matters. Our last frost date is anywhere between the last week of April to the first to second week of May. So we have that 3-week window, just depending on how things are with the weather. For the last couple years, our last frost date had been the last week of April. But we've gotten pretty low after that. Not quite freezing, but pretty close to freezing. So usually I plant my vegetables out either around the last week of April, first week of May. Typically, we don't get much colder, around freezing after that first week of May. Anyhow, I have been gardening since I was a child. I started gardening with my beloved grandfather in his backyard. We had peach trees, and he did a lot of corn and peppers and collards and all the staples. We also had 2 large mulberry bushes or trees in our backyard. So I've been gardening on and off since I was a kid. These last few years, I have been working on really growing my backyard garden here. I also have a community plot. At my community plot, there is a pretty large, relatively large, I think it's like 8x4 in-ground gardening plot that I leased. So last year was my first year doing that. Here at home, I garden in raised beds, containers. I have a few small areas that I garden in ground, not much at all. And then I also have some trees. Fruit trees. I have 2 cherry trees. I have a couple plum trees, a peach tree, and then I have an espalier apple tree as well that my children and husband bought me for Mother's Day a couple years back. I also have some chickens. Well, they're my son's chickens, but we have chickens on our property. They are our pets, and we definitely use and sell their eggs locally. And I usually do off-season, I usually do a lot of canning and preserving. So I start that at the end of gardening season, and I take it through the winter. So this is just one of my pantry areas where I store my canned goods. And then here on this side is where I start my seeds. So I will be starting seeds very soon. At the end of this month is when I will be starting my onions, and I will take you along that journey with me. I want to show you guys the process, my process, trials and tribulations, and highs and lows through seed starting to harvest. I spent a lot of time these last couple years on TikTok. I am interested in growing my platform and spending time equally on both platforms. If you are interested in following me over on TikTok, I post relatively frequently there. My tag there, my name there is _ Ash Danielle. And you'll see a picture of my, it says Ashley's Urban Garden. It's a little garden sign that I got a couple years back as my profile picture. So yeah, welcome, and please like and follow and share if you can. And welcome to Ashley's Urban Garden.